Hello and welcome to this episode of the English Verbs series. Today we're looking at the verb let. So first thing to notice is that this is one of those verbs where the forms are repeated. So it kind of saves you having to memorise different forms of the verb. So our infinitive, past tense and past participle are all the same. Let, let, let. Our ing form, letting, and third person singular, lets. So just to clarify that with the phonemic script then, those first three forms are all the same. Let. Make sure you've got that t at the end, so you don't want to voice the end of this. If you voice it, your T will become a D and it will sound like you said the word led, which is different. That's from the verb lead. So to make it nice and clear, let, there's a bit of a puff of air coming out of the mouth. With letting, stress the first syllable and you want that nice ting up in the nose. And then with your third person, lets, because the T is not voiced, it's aspirated with the puff of air, we pronounce the final S as a S, as a hissy snake sound. So that end combo is lets, it's ts, ts, lets. Okay, if you have any problems with that final combination, don't worry. The key thing is to not vibrate your throat. So stop the vibration. The eh is vibrated because it's a vowel, but then you move your focus up to the mouth and focus on puffing out the air. Ts, lets. Great. So let's look at some examples then in sentences. So starting with the past tense. My boss let me go home early yesterday. They let me borrow their car last week. So in both cases, we know this is a finished thing in the past, and that's kind of emphasised with a time reference, yesterday, last week. Easy. So past participle then. I have let him use my computer today. So that's present perfect. The only reason we know that it is that form is because of the auxiliary have, because our let, if you remember, let, three forms that are all the same. So the way that we know when we're listening to somebody or reading something, the way that we know where we are in time is by looking at the rest of the sentence. So we know have let, okay, present perfect, and then we've also got that time reference today that helps us to place our verb, to understand which tense is being used. And then in a question form, have you let anyone into the building? So that's our question, which is why our question word have is at the beginning. Have you let? So again, we're here now in the present asking about this. We can form lots of other combinations. Had you let somebody do something? And I will have let somebody do something in the future, for example. Our ing form then. Are you letting your son go to the party? I will be letting my apartment out when I go travelling. So with this first one, are you letting your son go to the party? Are you letting? It sounds like now, but actually it's got a sort of future meaning. Are you doing something? Can be right now, but it can also refer to the future. And usually in conversation, the context would make it clear which you actually meant. I will be letting is the future. I will be doing something. And then we get that indication as to when. When will it happen? Well, it will happen when I go travelling. So we know that this is a future situation. And this is maybe a slightly less common use of the word let. in my other examples, such as the first one here, letting your son go to the party has the meaning of allowing, permitting. In the second example, letting my apartment has the meaning of leasing or renting out. So to let an apartment can either be to lease it from one direction or the other. I'm either allowing you to stay in it or I'm the person renting it from you. So that's worth knowing. And our third person lets then. She always lets me borrow her books. My mum lets me stay out late at the weekend. So in both of these cases, what we're looking at is the use of let to mean allow or permit. And in the first example, it arrives with that word always. So we get this feeling of repeated action. My mum lets me stay out late at the weekend. Again, this isn't fixed anywhere particular in time, it's just something that happens. So to review then, we've got our infinitive to let, past tense let, participle let, ing letting, and third person lets. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, you can like and subscribe. And of course, check out the rest of the playlist so that you can work through lots of other English verbs. Sometimes you might find a surprise or two in there, words that you thought were pronounced differently. So go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.